ever travel, you ever see a sculpture of a horse on the monument? If the horse has one hoof up, remember that is on top of the horse simply means that they were wounded during a battle. But if both the hoofs are up, which thing? They died during the battle, you got it. And if all four of the hoofs are up? The horse died. That part's not true, guys. I thought someone was going to catch that all four of the hoops up. Alright, midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, folks. Let me tell you let me show you something pretty cool. Take a look up to your right. Hey, folks, this mansion was purchased in the true story. This mansion was purchased in the 1980s by a self-made millionaire. His name was Jim Williams. In the movie played by Kevin Spacey, he was 53 years old. He bought the mansion for $3.6 billion. He turned around one night and he shoots his lover / co-worker. His name is Danny Lewis Hansford. In the movie, that was played by Jude Law, one of his first starring roles. Take a look up to your right, second floor to your far left. Jim Williams shot him 3 times, killed him. Well, from this comes Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Nobody ever thought for 1 second that the movie was really going to do as well as it did. But nobody ever thought for 1 second that when the book was published in over 20 different languages, it'll stay on the #1 bestsellers list. Imagine this, for all non-fiction and fiction books for 422 weeks. Man, it really put Savanna on the map. If you like the book to read, the book's even better than the movie, you know. Alright, I want to tell you about this mansion here on your right. It's going to be called the Armstrong House. It's a lot of history. It was built for the Armstrong family in the early 1900s, and then later becomes Armstrong State University. Well, in 2016, the mansion was purchased by a gentleman by the name of Richard Kessler. You may be familiar with that name. He develops 5-star hotels all over the United States. He's done 4 of them here in Savanna. We're on our way to the first one called the Mansion on Forsyth. But let me also share this with you. When Richard Kessler purchased the mansion in 2016, he bought it from a guy by the name of Sonny Seiler. Anybody from Georgia? Ah, there you go. Need I say anymore? Go dog. No. Hey folks, if you're not familiar with Sonny Seiler, he's the owner of UGA. You remember UGA's the mascot today for the Georgia Bulldogs. Hey folks, it's unfortunately Sonny Seiler just passed away about 3 months ago. Alright, take a look up to your front. Check out that fountain. There's only 2 of them in the world, and her sister sits in Peru. Now, this is called Forsyth Park, and it's over 30 acres in size. Really, really pretty park. Let's take, we're going to take us a nice ride. Let's go all the ways around the park. Saturday. Hey, folks, keep in mind, we have a killer farmer's market every Saturday from 9 until 1. Let's take a ride all the ways around the park. I'll show you this farmer's market. Let's talk about, you know what I like about the park the best? If you like to run, walk, or jog at any of the 4 corners all the ways around the park, 1 lap around equals 1 mile. So it gives us a good idea as to how far, you know, we walk, we run, and we jog. Very safe during the day, very safe at night, and I feel very comfortable sharing that with you. Hey folks, we have a very large police presence in this historic district, okay? Alright, let's talk about this guy, Henry Ford. Let's talk about the Spanish moss, which is hanging from the live oak trees, any oak trees. Hey folks, Spanish moss is what's called an airborne water plant. You know, it's formed in the air, but it only attracts to live oak trees and oak trees. They get this, they say it's a member of the pineapple family. Well, Henry Ford spends a lot of his time here in the city, and he utilizes the Spanish moss to stuff the upholstery of his vehicles when they came out with the first Fords. And you know, it worked quite well for a while until they discovered that even to this day, Spanish moss is still infested with redbugs and chiggers. So what they did is they discontinued it, and from this comes that very famous saying. I certainly remember when I was growing up, good night, sleep tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
You guys got it. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Hey, don't you remember the second part of that, folks? Just itching to buy a Ford? Yeah, that doesn't go over very well sometimes. Alright, take a look off. You see all those 10 by 10 canopies over there on your left, folks? That's the farmer's market. I'll show you a little bit better of an idea. The closest stop to the farmer's market is where we're heading to, which is stop number 4.
Bless you.
Let me show you another monument of a soldier. We call him the Wander. The Wander is a monument that's dedicated to all of the soldiers that have lost their lives during the Spanish-American War that were residents of Savanna and Chatham County. Take a look up to your left. Check out the old Wander. And all of these 10 by 10 canopies, folks, they're all vendors. I will tell you, a killer farmer's market. And it goes till, like I said, 1 o'clock. Alright, let's talk about this guy, Richard Kessler. So we know that he develops 5-star hotels all over the United States. He's done 4 of them here in Savanna, and we're on our way over to the first of 4, which is called the Mansion on Forsyth. But you ever had a chance to visit Asheville, North Carolina? You may be familiar with another 5-star hotel besides the Biltmore. It's called the Bohemian. We have a Bohemian. I'm going to show that to you shortly when we get over by stop number 13. I'll show you the Bohemian. That's the work of Richard Kessler, you know. They always encourage their guests that even if you're not staying at the mansion on Forsyth, you know, come on back, take a walk around the inside, check out the gardens, you know, check out the galleries. And the more active side of the park, when I turn to my left, let me show you this. When I turn to my left, folks, take a look up to your left. This is where we host a lot of more active side of the park. We have a lot of fundraisers. We have a lot of concerts, folks. You got to imagine, whenever we have these concerts, nothing but lawn chairs, coolers, and everything goes, with the exception of barbecue grills. You know, we have 2 big events, annual events. One of them is called Picnic in the Park. And then we have our annual jazz festival, goes for a week in May. Take a look up to your left, check out our Confederate War Memorial. And when I turn to my right, take a look up to your 10 o'clock and check out that venue. Pretty nice venue. And this thing lights up all these different colors at night. It's really pretty cool. And on your left would be the mansion on Forsyth. But I'm going to show you a better view of it when we get over on the other side. And then that would be stop number 4. And then I'm going to show you something really cool. It's going to be the oldest live oak tree in the city. And they guesstimate this thing to be 350 years old. It's called the Camber Oak. But I'll tell you a good story how it got its name.
Yes, yeah.
When I turn to my left, let me give you a better idea of the mansion on Forsyth. Real quick. also have a stop on your maps, which is stop number
We did.
4.
Now this restaurant.
Alright, hey folks, when I turn to my right, let me show you something really cool. Nobody knew for sure how old this live oak tree was till about 20 years ago. And then Savanna brings in a group of what are called arborists. And they did a series of tests on the trees. They did ultrasounds on the tree. And now they come to the guesstimation that they think that the tree is 350 years old. Savanna immediately protects the tree. And they had it added to the National Historical Tree Register. But the only thing that Savanna didn't have for it was a name. So they decided to call it the Candler Oak. Take a look up to your right. If you were to drill through one side of this tree and come out the other, you know the diameter of the tree, folks, would be 68 inches. But if you were to measure the circumference of the tree, folks, all the ways around, get this, it would be 17 feet. It's huge. The olive drab colored building that you see there to your right, that used to be the Warren Candler Hospital. Hey folks, keep in mind also, if you would, that the Warren Candler Hospital and the live oak tree are both pre-Civil War. So remember now, they were here long before the Civil War, you know. Alright, we're working our way over to stop number 5, which is going to be called the Massey Heritage Center. It'll be the state of Georgia and Savannah's first public school. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty old. It dated back to 1853. And let me tell you what happened. In 1864, Confederate soldiers took over the Massey Heritage Center and they turned it in to a hospital for the soldiers. But it was only for a year. In 1865, they returned the hospital back to the city where it still continued to be a public school. And you know, it remained a public school all the ways up until 1974. So you can see, folks, that it stayed in operation, you know, for quite some time. And on your maps, we have a stop here for you, which would be stop number 5.
How do I put this up? I want to put this shade up, but I don't know how.